Welcome to Yurcak Field in Piscataway, New Jersey for today's matchup between Sky Blue FC and the Western New York Flash. I'm Brittany Alvarado alongside Dan Lawletta. Both of these teams are looking to make a huge playoff push. Western New York Flash currently stands in 7th place, while Sky Blue is just behind in 8th, but with a win today can push ahead into 6th place. These teams met just 3 weeks ago, and it ended in a 3-3 draw after Western New York Flash had a 3-1 lead. Let's talk about a few key points in Sky Blue today. Coach Cabrera talked about how they need to continue the motivation, continue the consistency that they have. How did Sky Blue do that today?
Well, for starters, Brittany, they're using the same lineup as they did last week when they beat Boston pretty handily here. And the Flash are in a similar position as Boston. They've played a lot of soccer, and they're on the wrong end of the scheduling differential in terms of days off. So Sky Blue, for the first time, really has some continuity and has some good soccer to lay their heads on. So I think it's for Sky Blue just continue to do what they're doing. The Flash will present a little bit more of a problem with speed than the Breakers did, but for Sky Blue, they have what it takes now to control these games.
Let's talk about Kelly O'Hara and Sam Kerr. Finally back on the pitch together. They certainly made a huge impact on the attacking line.
Well, if you go back to that game up at Salem Stadium, the Flash led that game 3-1 early in the second half. And over that last 40 minutes, both teams' seasons really changed course. And that partially was because Kelly O'Hara late in the first half got pushed up into the attack. Sky Blue came back. They shed that they can't score more than one goal in a game. They got the draw. Now it's 3 in a row undefeated. And that was the first in 3 games in 11 days at home for the Flash. And they wound up with just that 1 point from a draw. And that after leading that game 3-1 in the second half. They did not score and shut out losses to Houston and also to Portland. And now it's their 4th game in 2 weeks. So that game really got Sky Blue rolling. They are in 8th place, so they need to continue to roll a lot more than they have been, and it really did stall out the Flash, and now need some results on the road.
Now there are some changes to the back line for the Western New York Flash. Brittany Taylor is back at center back, and Abby Dahlkemper, is slotted back to right back. The consistency of the Western New York Flash back line hasn't really been there this season, though.
Well, they have 3 good center backs in Taylor and Dahlkemper and Whitney Engen, who was on the national team World Cup champion. And I don't think that Aaron Lyons has quite figured out how to deploy those 3 players. We've seen Dahlkemper in defensive midfield. We've seen Dahlkemper at right back where she'll be today. Taylor ended her league record streak of 3,690 minutes played when she did not start on Wednesday, so she should at least be fresh. And it'll be her and Engen with Dahlkemper on the right. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if Sky Blue tries to see how well Dahlkemper not necessarily defends, because I think she can defend well, but how does she do on the ball trying to get forward from that right back spot?
The speed of the Western New York Flash attacking line has certainly been a very high point for them. Coach Cabrera talked about how much they attacked them last game and how they need to stop that. How did the Flash find to penetrate the back line of Sky Blue today?
Well, Sky Blue, for starters, and Jim Cabrera told us this, was not good early in that game defending, and that's how they were down a goal in the first 5 minutes and 2-0 down before a half hour, 3-1 down early in the second half. So they need to button things up from the start. That was Christy Rampone's first game back with Sky Blue after the World Cup. She was probably at fault on one of the goals. I don't expect that to happen very often with Christy Rampone. So what Jim Cabrera said was that Christy Rampone is very good at keeping the line and where it's supposed to be. Brittany Cameron is one of the more aggressive keepers coming off her line. So that should help to contain the Flash speed. And, of course, if Sky Blue has the ball, then the Flash forwards can be as fast as they want to be, but it won't do them a whole lot of good.
Well, we got a great game coming up for you. Stay with us for Sky Blue FC versus the Western New York Flash.
And now, please welcome today's game officials, the Western New York Flash, and your very own Sky Blue FC. referee for tonight's match is Karen F. Assistant referees are Veronica Perez and Michael Piercy. And the fourth official is Jaime Jerez. And now, the starting lineup for the visiting Western New York Flash. On defense, Whitney Angen. Midfielder, Abby Goldtemper. Midfielder, Samantha Mewis. Midfielder, Ashley Nick. Midfielder, Becky Edwards. Forward, Jasmine Spencer. Defender, Jaylene Hinkle. Goalkeeper, Chantel Jones. Forward, Lee Andrade. Forward, Michelle Heyman. And the captain, defender, Brittany Keller. The head coach of Western New York Flash is Aaron Wines. He's assisted by Daniel Fridavici. And now, your 2015 Sky Blue FC, presented by Meridian Health. Starting goal, number 1, Brittany Cameron. Defender, number 4, Caitlin Ford. Forward, number 9, Nadia Nadine. Midfielder, number 10, Katie Creel. Defender, number 13, Kristen Trupka. Midfielder, number 14, Sarah Gilligan. Defender, number 17, Haley Hansma. Defender, number 19, Kelly O'Hara. Forward, number 20, Sam Kerr. Defender, number 22, Tammy Levin. And the captain, New Jersey Zone, defender, number 3, Christy Red-Hose. The head coach of Sky Blue FC is Jim Guevara. He's assisted by Takeyoshi Ishihara and Christy Holly. The Sky Blue FC athletic trainers are Sue Penrod and Dan Kraszewski.
They kill it though.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats as we honor the United States of America with the singing of our national anthem. Performing the national anthem this evening is Kylie Baxter. Riley.
And welcome to another broadcast of Sky Blue Soccer. I'm Charlie Flo with Dan Loletta. The Western New York Flash here are in town. Teams that just faced each other 2 weeks ago in a 3-3 draw. Both teams are looking to get out of the cellar. What do you see tonight from Sky Blue, Dan?
Well, Sky Blue for the first time this season, and I apologize for repeating for those who just watched us on the pregame, but it's the first time this season that they have a consistent lineup that's actually playing well. And you really cannot beat that. They got Kelly O'Hara back, and they got Sam Kerr in the lineup, and Caitlin Ford shouldn't be dismissed in that conversation either. And so often in sports, when a team is struggling and you say, well, we'll get A, B, and C back from injury or from the World Cup or wherever, and they come back and it's not quite what it's cracked up to be. But in this particular case, I think O'Hara especially has changed the entire team with the way she attacks and the dynamic that she brings to where she can be on the left side, on the right side. If they need her, she can drop back and play in defense. Kerr and Ford have also done that, so that's a really positive step for Sky Blue. Unfortunately, they're still in 8th place, and the season has only got about 5 or 6 weeks to go, so they need to keep the pedal to the metal.
Yeah, definitely an offensive explosion. 6 goals in the last 2 games. 3 came on the road 2 weeks ago at Western New York, and then last week, 3 goals, 2 from O'Hara and 1 from Kerr. Kerr definitely another player on the Sky Blue roster. In her 4th game for Sky Blue, found her touch right away in this lineup.
She really did. She came in and scored what might be the most important goal of the season so far against Portland in her first game back, which was the game winner. And, she really could have 6 or 7 already just based on chances. And those are going to continue to go in at least some reasonable rate. And at 20 years old, 21 years old, one of the absolute brightest young soccer players in the world right now.
Yeah, definitely an explosion last week with even Nadim and Kerr very active. Kerr only having 1 goal, Nadim having no goals last week, but both very, very active in attack. And it's kind of funny that those 2 players ease up pressure for O'Hara. Now you have to worry about her attacking, playing where she naturally is used to, where she likes to play. So it's a 3-headed monster the Flash are going to have to deal with tonight.
And Nadim didn't get on the score sheet last week, but I thought Jim Gabarra agreed with me, which doesn't always happen, but we both thought that it was her best game of the season. She had her best energy, and because it did look like she was maybe getting frustrated with all the double and triple teams and with no help, as if to say the other players weren't playing off her, but with O'Hara and Kerr now, the defenders aren't automatically going to Nadia and Nadim, so she has an opportunity to get a little bit more space.
Now for the Flash, they're going to do their lineup in the backfield. We have Dahlkemper going to be playing in the back, and Whitney Ingen's going to be in the back. Taylor wearing the Captain Arms band. Hinkle playing in the backfield also as well. In the midfield is going to be Nick, Muiz, and Edwards. And up top, Spencer, the Australian Heyman, and Lady Andrade.
First NWSL start for Andrade, who's come off the bench a few times. And as we start here, 34th straight start in a Sky Blue uniform for Katie Friels. If she starts next game, she'll tie Coco Goodson's NWSL club record.
So for Sky Blue, it's going to be the same exact lineup they had last week. No real changes. A few players a little banged up are going to be not available on the bench. We may not probably see Gordon. Still DeCesar still working on it, and no Maya Hayes tonight. But look for players like, Goodson to be ready, and then for some crazy reason, camera goes down, Bledsoe's ready to go in goal. If you're watching on your screen, going from your left to your right will be the Flash wearing all white tops, white shorts, and white socks. And in the goal is Jones for them. They're in control. Left foot a shot on. Cameron controls. Wasn't a shot on goal, but just keeps it just as safety. And Cameron's going to be in the purple tonight.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, in the Sky Blue's wearing the dark blue bottoms and the light blue tops. And they'll be going from your right to your left on your screen. You were saying, Dan?
For the Flash and back tonight, they have 3 really quality center backs. Brittany Taylor, who's the only player left, believe it or not, from the 2013 team that finished in first place. Also Abby Dahlkemper and Whitney Ingen. But it hasn't exactly worked out so well all the time with the different combinations. And after a game with Dahlkemper in the middle and Taylor sitting out for the first time in 2 years, Taylor's back on, Dahlkemper's at right back.
Flash put it in play, headed out by 11. Also a thing about the Flash, very young team, one of the youngest teams in the league. A lot of 20-year-olds We were talking to Aaron Lyons earlier, talking about like 26, 27-year-old players are veterans, you know, some of the older players on the team. So a very young team that's gone through a lot of ups and downs this season. I think the biggest thing is keeping them, you know, not fighting and having them get on the same page and just grind out games every week. There's Levin wearing the orange boots too. Put it out. Puts it over to Grubka. Cameron. Grubka also a rookie in this lineup. Been a mainstay in the backfield for Sky Blue.
And already we're seeing the Flash, even with their 4th game in 2 weeks, high pressuring Sky Blue. That's something the Breakers did not really try to do last week when they were in a similar situation in terms of how many games they've played.
Another thing tonight that Gobert doesn't want to go down early when these two teams played each other. Jasmine Spencer, which the ball was just hit over the head of, got an early kind of just a slop it out, you know, banging around type of goal early and put Sky Blue in the hole early. So hopefully Sky Blue's going to want to do the same thing. They got on the board last week against Boston in the 13th minute, so that's their big thing tonight. Get on the board early, put the pressure on the road team. Flash throw in. Miscommunication there. And Mewes hits it out. It's going to be Sky Blue throw in by Kerr. She puts it over to Nadeem. She plays it to Friels. Friels has got some space. Friels plays the ball over to Nadeem. Nadeem approaching the box. Poked away. And cleared out. Grubka within chase of Heyman. Heyman's all over her. Plays it back to Cameron, who then plays it over to Rampone.
Good example of the Sky Blue versatility on that last attack. It was a simple pass, but O'Hara was also out wide to the left if Friels had wanted to
Little
try
stumble.
to cross all the way over.
O'Hara battling one-on-one. It's a good way to prevent a corner kick for Sky Blue, so it's going to be a deep throw-in. Played by Ford. Kerr over to Ford. They're doing a lot of overlapping tonight. A lot of things that we saw the last few weeks with Kerr and Ford overlapping. Nadeem in the box. Hands went up. Maybe they were thinking there was a handball, but no whistle. Play on. Cleared out.
Good defending there by Dahlkemper.
Killian with a little back heel over to Kerr. Kerr over to Friels. Friels a nifty move right to penalty spot. And foot save by Jones. And it has a backspin on it, so it's going to roll out for a corner kick for Sky Blue here in the 5th minute. So early shot on. One of those desperation saves. Chanel Jones, a very tall player, long legs, and they came in useful there.
And Friels is not a forward, so we haven't spoken about her too much, but she's a player who really has benefited maybe as much as anybody on this team from the return and the arrival of players and the diversity that the club has now attacking.
O'Hara puts it into the box, right around the 6-yard box. Levin goes up for it. Looks like she took a knock. She's still down in the box. Referee's going to blow the whistle. They're going to take a look. I think that she got the initial head on it, but it looks like there was a tough collision there.
Yeah, I think her and I thought it was Mewes, but we.
Yeah, I think it is because Mewes is also grabbing her head, walking a little gingerly back up the field. One of her teammates was checking her head out.
I think it's actually Dahlkemper holding her head, but either way.
You're right.
That was a tough collision.
Couldn't tell what the angle is at.
Sky Blue already has Lindsay Kutzel out now for a little bit. Looks like a bloody nose here maybe. But they already have Kutzel out with the concussion that she suffered in the game at Western New York.
Just joining us early on, there was the closest play was a 5th-minute shot by Katie Friels from about the PK spot that Jones had to get her left leg on, and it rolled out for a corner. And just during that corner kick, O'Hara puts it in play, and it looks like actually it wasn't Levin. It looks like it's Grubka. Yeah, Grubka. Sorry, that it taken a little bit of a head to the nose maybe, and she's one of the backline players in the meantime while she's not in the backfield. Hogsmo's now dropped wearing number 17 jersey. She's going to be mainstaying one of the center back position with Rampone.
She hasn't come back to the bench. She's still behind the goal, so that indicates that in all likelihood the plan
puts
is
it
to
wide.
send it back in.
And put into play over to Mewes. She's looking for Spencer, but she takes the left-footed shot all by herself. Inches wide, a very threatening left-footed shot that had a lot of pace on it.
Yeah, that was a pretty wicked shot, and I think it fooled Brittany Cameron, but fortunately for Cameron, it just missed the mark a little bit
early on, but we've talked about Dahlkemper playing many different roles on this Flash team, but definitely early on already starting to push up and contribute to part of the offense and being more of a playmaker and distributing the balls. Header up, Nick heads it. Heyman tries to play a ball into the box. Heyman puts the ball over to Muez, but Hogsma gets it. Right now, Sky Blue are playing with 10 players as Grubka took a little header, and she's got getting tended to still on the sideline. So Sky Blue kind of sitting back right now, just trying to weather this storm while the Flash are up a player. Put a long ball in that Cameron just easily handles with her feet. Must say we've had some beautiful weather. And this is probably the best night we've had for soccer. It's probably a little over 80 degrees and beautiful breeze here.
Yeah, it is beautiful. The sun, fortunately, kind of went in a little bit, although it might have peeked back out some. It's behind us, so hard to tell, but really lovely night for soccer after a very hot day in New Jersey.
Levin plays it back to Cameron. In the meantime, on the sideline, Coco Goodson's warming up. She's the player that joined the team midway through the season after she had just come out of retirement. So she spent her first 2 full seasons with Sky Blue and was a mainstay. She was just a solid piece for Sky Blue in her first 2 years in the league. Stepped down, tried to retire in the offseason, but made a comeback. She's the lone player warming up. She plays a central defending spot, so we might see her coming in depending on how bad this Kristen Grubka injury is. In the meantime, Kerr is dribbling the ball. Looks like took a misstep. A lot of turf came popping up. But O'Hara has it in the box. She takes a move. Hit off of a Flash player. And Flash have possession. Jasmine Spencer plays it wide. Flash have a few numbers, and they're pushing up. Hogsma on the challenge. She kicks it wide and out of bounds.
I may have spoken too soon about Grubka's plan to come back in. Clearly, if they can't stop the bleeding, she's not allowed back on the field.
Yeah, they're still tending to her. It looks like they actually have a couple of the team in position. They have doctors over there looking at her. They've got about 2 people on our staff looking at her now. So Flash definitely trying to take advantage of the situation up a player.
Well, the Sky Blue has the best of the chances here, 9 minutes in, almost 9 minutes in, but this is not the same start they had against the Breakers, where they were dominating every facet of the match from the opening whistle. The Flash probably with an edge in the possession here so far.
They drop it back to Jones. It looks like Grubka's going to be back going in. She's sprinting over to the 4th official, so she'll be jumping back on the field momentarily. We're going to take it down momentarily to Brittany Alvarado, our sideline reporter. Usually have her coming on 20s, but this is the benefit of having Brittany down there. She's going to have some news for us in a few seconds. Brittany, what do you have for us down there?
So Grubka on that play, you saw she went down. She got a nasty elbow to the nose. She is back in, though. Trainers and doctors said she's all good. I'm sure she's happy to go back in. But, yeah, it was an elbow to the nose. She's back out there. Grubka's all good. Back to you guys.
That's Brittany Alvarado, our sideline reporter. So that's good. Grubka back on the field. Definitely took a scare there because she was down a lot longer than we thought. But back on the field now, we have 11v11. So we're now into the approaching right at the edge of the 10th minute, going to 11th minute, 0-0 early on. The only chance was a 5th minute shot by Katie Friels that ended up in a Sky Blue corner that resulted in Kristen Grubka, the rookie out of Florida State, getting a little bit of an elbow to the face and getting out with a little bloody nose. But she's back in the lineup, which means she's back in the center back position. Hogsman's now pushed back up into the midfield role, which she started at. Kelly O'Hare maintains possession, a little grab and hug from behind. Referee's going to blow the whistle. Sometimes that's the only way you can beat a player like Kelly O'Hara, is just to grab her. Becky Edwards with a very professional foul, Dan.
Yeah, she looks like she'll get a little talking to from Karen App, but card's going to stay in pocket.
Yeah, you can get away with a couple of those in the game, but it looks like we have a very strict referee tonight. And
Jim Gabara not in favor of the card staying in the pocket, it doesn't seem like.
Definitely understand that for every coach. You want every call against you. Hawksman with a shot that falls in, bounces right after the 6-yard box. Not too much of a problem for Jones.
Look sharp and support your club by wearing the
And it is a big deal to not give a yellow card to a player, and I don't know that should have been a yellow card, but it is a big deal to put your defensive midfielder or a player that has a lot of defensive responsibilities on a yellow card with 75 minutes, 80 minutes to go.
Yeah, especially on the road, that can change a lot of how Aaron Line coaches and approaches the game. So I definitely understand Jim's frustration, especially when you've already fully beat your defender and you've got, it wasn't a clear path, but she did have momentum going towards the goal. Cameron with a lot of sun in her face. This is that time of the match. You don't want to be that goaltender or goalkeeper on that side of the field. A lot of shadows, and she plays a ball in. It's going to fall around midfield. That Edwards gets her head on and going to roll out for a sky blue throw in. O'Hara's going to take this, and she tosses it back to actually Levin to take it. Soft throw into Hogsema. Levin mishits it. Heyman, the Australia international, with it, knocked away by Hogsema. Another impact player for the Flash that Airlines and them had picked up right after the World Cup. Had come in, and her first game against Sky Blue got a goal to put up the Flash 3-1. And at the time, it looked like Flash were in for a tough loss that night.
And that effort earned Michelle Heyman Player of the Week honors in her debut week with the Flash. And unfortunately, during the World Cup, she wasn't able to contribute much. She went into the World Cup carrying a little bit of an injury, but she seems A-okay since she's gotten to Western New York.
Yeah, she's got a lot of height. She's just right at about the 6 foot, under 6 foot mark. I mean, it depends on, I guess, what hairdo she's got going on. Aaron Lyons had joked about. Depends on her height. But, yes, a very, very key addition. And she had joked to us in the pregame about it's like the first time since January she's played on grass. It's always good to get on grass. Something exciting. The players love to come here and play on grass.
Well, the Australian Federation actually built the team a special field that was turf so they could get ready for the World Cup on it.
Well, there's a long ball just out of the reach. Hit over to Spencer. Kind of deflected off her. And hit a little bit more. She would have had an easy shot on goal.
Grubka made a nice play there, but her clearance went right into Spencer and almost caused her some trouble.
Well, there's Spencer with the ball. She's being tracked by Killian. She's right at the top of the box. Ford chasing on. Spencer with a shot and off the frame. 0-0 still. Inches from being 1-0 Flash. When it left her foot, it looked good. But off the frame, we stayed 0-0.
Sure did, and Sky Blue cannot allow her to get a shot like that off in that situation.
So Sky Blue with control now. Nadine plays a ball into Kerr, the other Australian that plays on the Sky Blue side. And there's also Ford that plays for Sky Blue, so good mix of Australians. Also wanted to send a special shout out to Vicky and David watching down south, actually, down under in Australia. Those would be Michelle Heyman's parents. Said they're watching, so I hope they're enjoying the match. And great having your daughter and all the Australians here in this league. Cross into the box. Nadim, soft header, easily catched by Jones. Another interesting thing with Flash, they've done a kind of almost like a goalkeeper by committee. They've gone, alternated back and forth with D'Angelo and Jones this season a lot.
And pros and cons for both. D'Angelo really gave up a soft one last week when she came halfway out and allowed Christine Sinclair to chip her, I should say, midweek, not last week. And I think both of them have potential to really be good keepers. We'll see if D'Angelo gets in the pipeline up in Canada with Karina LeBlanc's international career coming to an end. And she's a rookie out of the draft. But like Aaron Lyon said, it'll take some time. A lot of young players on the squad.
Katie Friel's long ball looked like she was trying to hit O'Hara, but looked like Ingen to hit it out, but Sky Blue get back possession and momentarily lose it.
So Jim Gabera said he wanted to try to win each section of the game, and he wasn't really sure, I don't think, what he considered a section, but if you do 15-minute sections,
yeah,
I'd say slight edge to the Flash here in the first quarter hour.
Yeah, after the injury to Grubka, early on the first 5 minutes was a lot of Sky Blue, but since the injury, Flash had been putting up, numbers, and we were maybe about a minute and a half ago inches away from Flash going up 1-0 when Jasmine Spencer hits a shot off the close post.
And both teams are essentially playing with three in the midfield, and so that really opens up some space in the middle of the park.
There's Spencer with the ball. She plays a long ball. Looks like a little bit out of touch of all of her players.
Yeah, I don't think Heyman was expecting it, either that or she thought she was offside because she went the wrong way.
Kind of put into one of those no-man land areas, out of reach of all of her players. Rampone over to Friels. She was battling the sun as she made that pass.
I think we've answered the question about whether the clouds are away from the sun based on how the players are reacting to it.
Rampone pushing up. She's approaching the midfield spot. Nobody really challenging on her. Over to Ford. Back to Rampone. To Kerr. Little flicker. Rampone pushing up deep. She plays across it to Nadim. Nadim heads it, but not too much on it. Easily grabbed by Jones. So Nadim's gotten 2 early headers, very soft. They were headers with not a lot of momentum on them, so not a lot you can ask Nadim to do with those crosses. Cross wide. Dahlkemper plays it back to Ingen. Back to Ingen again after Edwards had played it. Swings it over to Taylor, who's wearing the captain's armband for the Flash tonight. Ball played into Spencer. Headed out by Grubka. Killian loses the ball. Heyman puts a pass in. Ball into the box. Overhit Spencer. And Cameron's just going to dribble it out of her box. And passes it wide to Rampone. He's wearing the captain's armband for Sky Blue tonight. Kerr. Excuse me, Ford, sorry. Spencer takes control.
I'm not sure if this will be the biggest crowd of the season, but I believe it's the most energetic. From pregame warm-ups right up to the Brittany Cameron chant you might hear in the background.
Yeah, a lot of kids here tonight. It's a beautiful Saturday night. You know, the weather definitely is a factor why we have a lot of crowd tonight. It's not one of those hot, sticky, humid nights, just a perfect night for soccer. Also, it's Kick ALS night, so we have an additional crowd for that, people supporting the ALS cause. That we're going to have a halftime guest. Tom Framka is going to be coming on at halftime and be speaking with me about the things that he's doing with Kick ALS. So we're doing the whole show red card to ALS. A lot of people in the stands have a red card they're all going to be putting up and just giving ALS the red card.
And hopefully that's something that can actually be accomplished sooner than later.
Definitely. There's Kerr with control. Sky Blue trying to regain some type of possession here. Haven't really found an offensive spot since about the 5th minute in the game. Back to Rampone. Over to Killian, rookie out of UCLA. Over to Kerr. Rampone with a long ball. Kind of falls a little too far. And a turnover. Nadim in the box. She's got space. Takes a nasty deflection. And Jones somehow gets it. When you see a deflection like that, it seems like 9 times out of 10 it's in the back of the net. It's just one of those.
Well, usually the keeper is already going in the direction that the ball's headed when it gets deflected. Good hustle by Engen after getting beat to get back and get in the shooting lane.
I think that deflection ended up more of a blunt force where it went kind of more up than to the side. So Sky Blue cannot cash in off the turnover, and it remains 0-0 here in the 20th minute. Jones just plays it wide. And Becky Edwards plays it back. And then they hit the reset button back to Jones. Momentarily, we're going to set it down to Brittany Alvarado, our sideline reporter, checking on the 20s and see what she's got for us. Spencer heads it to the mid area. Heyman being tracked. Brittany, what do you got for us down there on the sidelines?
Hey guys, not much going on bench-wise with the coaches, except for that almost goal by the Western New York Flash. The bench was up, screaming, yelling. Even from down here, it looked very good to me, but just slightly off, hit the post. It's been a pretty physical game so far. Becky Edwards and Kelly O'Hara went at it a little bit earlier. But so far, tie game. Possession's kind of battling back and forth, and that's all I got for you guys.
That's Brittany Alvarado, our sideline reporter. Thank you so much, Brittany. Now we're entering into the 21st minute, still at 0-0. Looks like we actually, in the meantime, have some chatting with the ref. Again, maybe it's Grubka.
Was a little slow to get up.
We'll have to have Brittany take a look at that.
I think she might have lost one of the
tissues in her nose.
So she's coming over to the sideline to try to get that rectified. So back to 11v10 for the moment for Sky Blue.
And hold the boat there real quick. Rampone's got to tie her shoe, so everything on Sky Blue is kind of taking a little bit of a pause right now.
Well, that's the veteran move.
And it actually is working because Friels and Nadim are jumping to the sideline and they get a squirt of water. So anything to give your team that extra second. 'Cause you don't want to be playing in 10 players. And it looks like whatever they're going to do on the sideline, they're going to try to get her back on the field as much as she can. It's not a physically she can't go type of thing. It's more of a she's got some blood and got to stop the bleeding. And that's the worst way you want to use a sub in the first half for someone just bleeding or it's not a non-performance type of injury, just a medical cautionary. And you would hate to see them have to use a sub, but looks like she's running back in. They stuffed her nose up. She's got about 3 inches of tissue sticking out of it, so ref will probably wave her back on in a moment. In the meantime, Levin knocks it out of bounds. It's going to be a flash thrown right in front of their own bench.
In general, when you're at the pro level and it's 3 subs,
Yeah.
usually considered a failure on some level if you have a sub used by the halftime.
Yeah. Heyman puts a ball in. She's got Spencer. She puts it on. Cameron somehow keeps it out with her palms. More of a reactionary save, but great way to keep it 0-0. So early story on is Spencer's been all Flash's offense. Great ball in by Heyman.
And now we have a free kick, and something we have not seen a lot. That hit the
Looks like it hit the frame.
upper 90.
Yeah. Wow.
Something we have not seen a lot of in our broadcast at Yurcak are free kicks in dangerous spots like this.
And something that Sky Blue's done very well is not commit fouls in their own third. So it's going to be Becky Edwards, looks like sitting over it,
And
or Dahlkemper.
This is definitely a service situation for Edwards.
Edwards puts it in, headed out by Hogsma. Ford's got some space. Doesn't really have much help, so she's just going to clear it off. Intercepted by Taylor. Ingen with a lot of pressure by Nadim. Really good hustle by Nadim to force Ingen into a tough pass there. That almost was a turnover. So Edwards calling for some help here. She's going to put it back to Ingen. Who swings it wide. Left-footed ball in to Spencer. Cameron right on the edge of her box.
Looks like the Flash. The Flash have all these quick forwards.
Yeah.
Although Lynn Williams is on the bench tonight and LaRue is out for the rest of the season with the ankle surgery, but they haven't necessarily always found the best way to get that speed unleashed, and they seem to be playing some more direct balls tonight and trying some different things to try and utilize the fact that, their forwards are quicker than the Sky Blue defenders.
There's Grubka back in as a player that stepped off a couple times with a little nose injury, but hoping that can maintain the not bleeding and stay in the match. In the meantime, Sky Blue are pushing up with a ball from Ford. Nadim in the box. Ingen with a good tackle there, right at the 6-yard. O'Hara puts it over to Levin. Levin with a left-footed strike, which actually just soars, maybe about a foot or two wide. Ended up being a decent shot on.
Visit NWSLsoccer.com for all of your updated league information, team standings, and more. That's NWSLsoccer.com.
We're now in the 25th minute, and it's still 0-0. The story early on is Jasmine Spencer's now hit the frame twice, one from about 6 yards and one from about maybe 15 yards out.
On Wednesday night against Portland, Flash had a chance literally inside 30 seconds and hit I think it was Heyman, hit the outside of the goal, and then another chance in the 8th or 9th minute, a golden opportunity that they couldn't convert. Michelle Betos made a nice save. And after that, it pretty much got shut down for the rest of the night, and Portland got 2 and beat them 2-0. And both teams tonight have had chances that probably when they go back and look at it, they'll want those back and think they should have converted on them.
Rampone pushes into the center circle. She's still pushing up, being tracked on by Nick and put away. And gonna fall, kind of a little ball with a little English on it, falls for a Sky Blue corner. It'll be their second corner kick of the night. O'Hara's Johnny in the spot right there, ready to take it. Looking for a in swinger. Sky Blue's gonna put a lot of numbers in the box. About every player's in the box for Sky Blue, except we have one player holding back. O'Hara puts a little short ball in to Friels. Ends up being another corner kick. Actually, sorry, it wasn't a corner kick. Guess it did actually hit off of Friels before it went out, and that's going to be goal kick.
I thought what you thought, but no objection from anybody in a blue uniform.
No. It's one of those things where defender just kind of hit it off of Friels to clear and then just ended up going out of bounds. So, but they went with the short ball, something we have not seen from Sky Blue this season. Going for the short, pass. Hogsma goes up, gets a little bit ahead on it. Heyman had it for a moment there. Grubka with a good tackle there to put it away. O'Hara plays it back to Killian. O'Hara puts it over to Hogsma. Hogsma plays it wide to Ford. Ford looking for Kerr. Hits it over to Nadeem. Falls in for Friels into Nadeem. Actually, Kerr, she's got a ton of space. A blast saved off by Jones. So in the last few minutes, Jones been pretty busy. O'Hara battling there, and it ends up going to be a Sky Blue throwing deep. And O'Hara collects it right near the top of the box. She tried to flick it into Nadeem. So Sky Blue maintain one of their better possessions at this moment. Kerr. Wide to Friels. Friels looks in for a one-time cross. Jones gets a fist to it. O'Hara puts it into Kerr. Kerr looking for help. Couldn't find help. And hits it over for a turnover.
That was a mistake by Jones. To come off in that particular spot, you've either got to get that clear of the box or catch it, which is what I thought. She came out with that in mind, but I guess at the last minute she realized she couldn't grab it.
On the counterattack, Heyman with a head of steam. Hawksman just kind of body checks her to lose the ball. No whistle, play on. Nick with the ball, middle center field being challenged on by Friels. Nick was the one-time Sky Blue player last season. Has been on a couple different rosters since then. Started this season with a dash, so she has been here before, but just in a different jersey.
Interesting thing about Nick is that she played for Pally Blues and was in the championship match with them and was literally on the podium celebrating the championship when Charlie Nemo, who is now actually with the Flash, he was the general manager coach of Pally Blues, tapped her on the shoulder and said, "There's someone on the phone for you." It was Jim Gabera, and 6 nights later she was at Yurcak helping Sky Blue get a win.
There you go. Crazy life of professional soccer players. Definitely been a solid player. She was involved in a trade with Houston that sent her up to Western New York a few weeks ago.
Tony Presley headed back down south to Houston after
and even Presley's been a journey player, started out with the Washington Spirit. So a lot of chess moves in this league. Every coach looking for that piece or that player to help give them that edge. Kerr with the ball. Looming in the shadows, she puts it over to Nadeem. Nadeem looking for help. She puts a right foot across in. And Kerr tries to cut it in, but deflected out.
O'Hara stayed offside for too long on that play, eventually dropped back, but I think options were limited once she got herself in a position where the cross could come in.
Yeah, Flash had about 4 players in the box at that time, so the numbers were against them. One of those things where maybe if Nadeem had a second shot, she might have just taken it more into the box and tried to draw the defense out. We're now in the 30th minute, still 0-0. Story's been early as Katie Friels had an early shot in the 5th minute, and Jasmine Spencer for the Flash has hit the woodwork twice with some very threatening shots, but we're at all zeros still. These are two teams that put up 6 total goals 2 weeks ago, but very defensive-minded teams at the moment, so goalkeepers both come up huge for each team. Heyman being challenged by Killian, maintains possession. Edwards collects it to center circle. She plays it wide. Dolkemper being chased by Levin. Levin, Dolkemper battle, and Levin gets the better.
One of the questions about whether or not Dolkemper can play right back is her composure on the ball.
Great long ball. Flag stayed down. Kerr's dribbling into the box. She plays it over to Nadeem, and sliding save, Ingen. Ingen just kept it 0-0.
Yeah, terrific defensive play there by Whitney Engen.
Yeah, one of the players that played on the World Cup roster that had won the World Cup, they only had one team from the U.S. Well, actually 2, because LaRue was on it, but she's going to be out for the rest of the season.
Engen came into WPS with Chicago and made an immediate impact, was Rookie of the Year, and really was right away one of the best central defenders in that league.
Nick over to Heyman. Heyman being pressured. loses touch there. Like Friels was trying to play a ball in Dean, but just kind of mishit it, and Flash regained possession. It's like Flash are kind of catching their breath at the moment, kind of trying to slow the tempo up a little bit, playing a little knock around, a little keep away.
And remember, this is their 4th game, starting with the one 2 weeks ago when they drew Sky Blue, whereas it's only Sky Blues. They've only had 1 game in between there. It's their 3rd game, and that makes a big difference.
Yeah, that was the same situation that Sky Blue was in last weekend when they played Boston, that Boston had played a midweek game that they had lost a tight match, and same thing with Flash losing a tight match to Portland, that sometimes as a home team, you want that. You want a team that has lost and coming on the road and has some little fatigue in their legs, and you look to take advantage of them. But Sky Blue has not been able to get on the board early.
At the same time, Portland went out to Western New York midweek. They had taken a red-eye from Seattle Sunday into Monday. It was their 3rd game in a week. And if you watched that game, you would have thought, if you didn't know better, that the Flash were the tired team.
Yeah, it's interesting how that works, especially harder for these West Coast teams that come out because they're playing out of their time zone, having to play at an earlier time, so they really lose a couple hours and don't get the full time to regen. So,
and McCall Zerboni said, look, tiredness is a mentality. Coaching staff wouldn't let us.
Yeah.
We didn't complain about it. The coaching staff won't let us get down about that sort of thing. And they actually went back to Portland on Thursday and trained right off the airplane and then had Friday off.
Like we said, the life of a pro, not for me. I'm just getting tired thinking about it. So Hogsma plays it back to Cameron. Cameron back to Hogsma. Haley Hogsma wearing the orange boots tonight. She puts a long left-footed cross over to Kerr. Great hit. Kerr's got some space. Being tracked on. Plays it into Nadim. And Nadim, frustrated, wants that one back. Would say it was an easy save for Jones, but kind of more or less hit right at her.
But there's Nadim again making something, not necessarily nothing, but it looked like Kerr was going to have the ball in the corner and there wouldn't be enough Sky Blue runners, but Nadim was able to get a shot off using her incredible skill.
Very, very dangerous ball hit back to Cameron. Sky Blue is in trouble as Flash going aboard. It's a little mishit by Grubka back to Cameron, and she was forced to use her chest, and it leads to a turnover and a Flash goal here in the 34th minute.
That'll be the first NWSL goal for Lady Andrade and the first goal for the Flash since that 3-3 draw with Sky Blue, and it was the back pass that got Cameron in trouble. And for someone who comes off her line so often and lives so dangerously, for her to give up a goal on a bad touch like that.
Well, I think it was, you look at the back pass, it was hit very high towards her chest. There was not much she could do. She couldn't handle it. If you're a keeper, when you want the back pass coming to you, you want it away from the goal. You want to put that one to her left foot so she can make it clear, or if it mishit, it just goes out of bounds. So very unfortunate situation for Sky Blue. In the meantime, they're going to try to go. Kelly O'Hare goes, and Kelly O'Hare hits it over the bar. If anything, they want to get a quick counter goal to just kind of erase that first goal for the Flash.
Dahlkemper there did a nice job to close down O'Hara and give her a little bit less angle than she had. And you see Dahlkemper get out of the way, let O'Hara take the shot, and it went high, but she did get in the way of O'Hara's ability to put it wherever she wanted.
The Western New York goal was scored by number 21, Lady Andrade, unassisted. Andrade in the 34th minute.
Andrade, obviously in the World Cup, had that great goal against France that led to Colombia pulling in the upset of the tournament, maybe the upset of any World Cup, beating France in that group stage.
They ended up getting them to the knockout stage, which they lost in the round of 16 to the USA, but Lady Andrade made herself famous with the Abby Wambach incident. That's all I'll say. Just say a little incident.
And being up at the Flash game on Wednesday night, Andrade came in off the bench, and that might have been the most excitement in Salem Stadium the entire night. She seems to have an instant following.
Ball in by Edwards, kind of tailing, a little challenging for Cameron. Looked like a outswinger, then it had a little curve on it, ended up being almost an in-swinger to her. Killian puts it over to Kerr. Kerr's just going to hold up and put it back to Killian. Back to Kerr. Miss hit over to Friels. Friels still battling for it, but Flash come out with possession. Jones puts the ball over wide and out of the reach. Like she was going for Hinkle there, and it was just hit too far.
Hinkle is the rookie for the Flash, and one thing Hinkle likes to do is to get forward. She was one of the 4 first-round picks that Western New York made. And Sky Blue's done a pretty good job of making sure the right side is where they've attacked, and that has kept Hinkle.
Yeah, she burned Flash 2 weeks ago, got a goal to make it 2-0 for the Flash in that game 2 weeks ago. So
she hasn't been able to get as forward as she's wanted to. One of those picks, by the way, was Abby Dahlkemper, who came with the number 4 pick, and they got that pick by trading Sam Kerr to Sky Blue.
Ford on chase on Spencer. Spencer and Ford battling. Ford's going to fight to keep it in, but tries to play it back to Cameron, but a little miss hit there, and safest thing there is just to kind of hit it out of bounds, which Flash wished they did about 5 minutes ago.
No harm, no foul there. It would have been a corner kick anyway. However, that's the second time now in the last 5 minutes, less than that Sky Blues had issues with back passes.
You can rely on your goalie, but, it's the same thing. You're playing a little bit of roulette when you're playing it back to your goalie, especially if it's mid-hit. You're putting your goalkeeper in a very tough spot. Like they say, you don't want to leave him out to dry. Levin heads it. Cleared out by Ford. Flash get possession back. Played, and it's going to stay in. Stays in. Ball in. Flash. Heyman header, which goes wide. It's like her and Hogsma did a little battling in the air there, and she came up gingerly limping a little bit, but she seems to be okay. Levin over to Kerr. Kerr and O'Hara have switched sides now, but Levin's pushed up. Kerr's dropped back. Kerr being double team, triple team, ends up being fouled. So not a lot of fouls against the Flash. Only about maybe the 3rd foul Flash have committed. So they played a pretty tight match so far. So Sky Blue with about 6 players on the edge of the box, played in by Rampone, headed by Grubka, rolls just over the 6-yard box for a goal kick to the Flash. Jones puts it in. Hawksman gets a little bit ahead on it. Tracking on his Levin. Dahlkemper puts it back. Spencer just hits it wide. Very good marking there by, that looks like Killian was on her. Or no, sorry, Rampone was on her, and that could have been disastrous. That would have had 2-0 written all over it. Nadim heads it, and then softly Ingen just puts it back to Jones. Jones puts it into the midfield area. Grubka with the header. It's like we have a foul on, I guess, Killian going over the top of the back. More of a 50-50 ball. Could have gone either way, but ref's going to blow whistle in favor of Flash. We're going to send it down the field to Brittany Alvarado, our sideline reporter. We have some shoe fixing. What do you have for us, Brittany?
Before the goal in the 34th minute by the Flash, Coach Lyons was yelling out to his team, keep the possession. Don't get tired, because they kept kicking the ball out. Coach Cabrera is really, really persistent in letting them know that they still got this. Keep pushing on. He knows the Sky Blue team is knocking. They've been knocking all game. Chantel Jones has come up with huge saves in this one, but the bench is still positive on this one. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Brittany. That's Brittany Alvarado, our sideline reporter. A little ping action in the meantime. Grubka, who's nursing the nose injury, plays it wide over to Rampone. Rampone battling with the sun. She blows her to Killian. Killian back to Rampone. A little pressure from Heyman, the Australian international. Rampone plays a ball in. Flash get possession. Heyman was there, but a little mistouch, and Rampone strips her of possession. Wide over to Levin. Back to Grubka. O'Hara, who's playing more in a central role now. Friels over to Killian. Wide to Ford. With support by O'Hara. Ford maintains, puts it over to Killian. Killian to O'Hara, who's at the wide spot. Back to Killian. Rampone. Back to Killian. Hawksma getting involved. Tries to put a ball in, deflected. Cleared out. Heyman couldn't handle it. Was trying to go for a chest flicker there, maybe a header, but just overhit. Sky Blue back with possession. Trying to get on the board before the half. O'Hara puts the ball in. Cleared out. O'Hara underneath it. Grubka being tracked on by Heyman. Smartly just plays it back to Cameron. Back to Rampone. Tracked on by Spencer. O'Hara grabs possession. And just put out a play by Taylor. It's going to be a deep throw-in for Sky Blue. Kerr back to O'Hara. Jasmine Spencer doing a great job of tracking back and trying to break up stuff. But in the meantime, possession. Nadim in the box to Killian. Killian's a shot. It bounces about 2 feet wide to the left.
And it looked like Spencer just fell down there.
Yeah, I thought she had it for sure.
And that allowed Sky the attack and a golden opportunity for Killian, but she's unable to put it on frame.
By the fourth official on the sideline.
Yeah, looking at the replay, that few feet in, she might have had Jones beat, but just couldn't get a lot on that shot. So sails wide. We remain 1-0 to the Flash. Here in the 44th minute. It's like we're going to have maybe about 2 minutes of stoppage time before the half. Killian brings it down. Tackled on. Maintains. Little nutmeg action. Killian over to Kerr. And Levin tries to play a back heeler, but had no juice on it. Levin back onto it, and Sky Blue get back possession as they're approaching the halftime. Ford going to take the throw. She puts it over to O'Hara. And O'Hara's doing a lot of roaming roll tonight. Been playing on all sides of the field, the middle, the right, and the left. And there's O'Hara just out of her reach. Heyman brings it down. And looks like Flash a little communication. Tried to play a long ball. Nobody was there. I don't understand that, but play on. Sky Blue possession.
You said just out of her reach before. That seems to be the story of this first half for
Sky Blue. Inches away from 3 or 4 really good opportunities. And Nadim, who had the ball now, been very, very active. Friel's been active. So a lot of players getting involved in the Sky Blue offense. They just can't seem to crack the net. Jones has been very active tonight. Several saves already.
The fourth official has indicated that a minimum of 2 minutes have been added.
Killian tries to play a ball in, but it's a little stumble action before she made a pass. Probably didn't get as much on as she wanted. Back to O'Hara. She plays a ball into Nadim. And she was taking down the box, but no foul. Wasn't enough contact. I guess the ball was not enough reach to really call a foul there. And she's not getting up and complaining. So I guess when the player doesn't complain, they know that they just went down. All the ALS red card fans hold up their red card. Why not, you know? Friels. Back to Rampone. To Ford.
Rampone's doing an awful lot of running around at midfield with Hogsma dropping in to cover.
We just wrapped up our first minute of stoppage time here in the first half. We got about a minute more before the half. Referee added on 2 minutes. Sky Blue definitely want to try to create some pressure and get on the board to even up things for the second half. Rampone plays the ball in. falls to Nadim. She gets the ball in the box. Double teamed. Still maintaining, loses it. Played over to Jones, who hits out of bounds, and Sky Blue looking for a quick restart.
There's that on-ball composure we talked about for Dahlkemper. She played it over to Jones, but didn't seem comfortable.
Friel's dribbling near the box. She's got some space. That's going to be a Sky Blue throw-in. Still got a few moments, about maybe 20 seconds left in this half, so definitely a golden opportunity for Sky Blue on their third corner kick of the night. Fans are stomping away, hoping they can register the nodding goal here in the first half. In-swinger, O'Hara just over hits Grubka. And there's your halftime whistle with the Flash holding a 1-0 lead over the home-sided Sky Blue. Hang around momentarily. I'm going to have Tom Fram Kia come on, and he's going to be on in a few minutes with me to talk about the red card for ALS. So stay where you are. We're going to see on the broadcast, and then Dan and I will come back for the half to recap the first half and look at what we're going to see for the second half. So stay where you are, fans.
Yeah, that was our goal, was to get 3 points tonight, and I think we benefited from Boston being at the tail end of a really rough trip for them. 3 games in 8 days and 2 on the road, but I think we looked a lot sharper in attack, and probably could have been up by a lot more goals at halftime, but we'll take it, and I thought we played really well and as a team and looked really dangerous and going forward. I think once we got past their initial line with the ball, it was I think it was fun for the players because there was a lot of opportunities to attack.
Feels great. I'm just excited to be back with the team and to help the team in any way. It's easy to score when you have good players around you, like Katie putting in that ball today and Sam feeding me that other ball. So it's nice, and it's nice to get a home win.
It was a great team effort today. We are really clicking on offense. The fact that we scored 3 goals today was incredible. So just really proud of my teammates. Just scoring 3 gave me the opportunity to get in today, and it was a great team win.
Yeah, it was awesome. I was super stoked for her. It's great, anytime you can get 3 points, it's awesome in this league, and for us, it's necessary. So we just have to keep the momentum going.
Well, I think it's always been clicking. I think the results have not matched up with the performance, and I think it definitely matched up tonight. And I think scoring goals is a big difference. If you're creating all these chances and you're not finishing, it puts a lot of pressure on you defensively. So I think it's our play is starting to come along, and we're getting used to it. The players that have come back from World Cup, and that's added a certain element of athleticism and a lot more dangerous attack. It's given Nadia more room, and I think Haley and Sarah did a great job in the middle of the park tonight, along with Katie, directing the attack and dictating possession.
Yeah, I've just been waiting for my opportunity this season, and like I said, I'm happy that we got a nice lead and got to go in for the last bit. Obviously, I would have loved to keep the shutout, but everyone was really supportive, so I keep my head up and hopefully, I'll get another shot.
I think we realize we're a good team, and if we play the way we are asked to play, the results will come. Fortunately, it's taken an awful long time, but I even look back to the Portland game that we lost 2-1. I think that the team had a great attitude and was in good spirits, and I'm just really happy that they're getting rewarded for it.
I think it just we have all of our World Cup players back, and it's farther into the season. We can really start to put everything together and come together as a team, and our backs are up against the wall, so we have no choice but to go out and throw everything at every team. So it's what we're gonna have to do.
Olympic soccer star Christy Rampone, NFL Hall of Famer Harry Carson, and Meridian Health have some healthy advice.
How about this?
Challenge a friend to a competition. Tune into your health by setting goals, being active, and eating better. Do it every day, and you both win. So get active, be healthy.
Let's take it up a notch.
Learn more at tunedintoyourhealth.com. It's another way Meridian Health is taking care of New Jersey.
Had enough?
My fellow New Yorkers and my fellow Americans and all of those watching around the world this triumphant moment, we welcome you to New York City Hall. And today, once again, they have made history. The first women's sports team in history to be honored with a parade down the Canyon of Heroes.
Are you ready to meet the team? Are you ready to see the team? Let's bring them out.
Thank you, Robin. So I'm proud to be here representing the professional game here in the United States. We have so many terrific teams both here in the city and throughout our country who can take all the excitement that you were able to witness throughout the last number of weeks, throughout the Men's World Cup, and bottle all that together and deliver it to you week in and week out. It starts with our country, and the men's game and the women's game is trying to prove to the rest of the world that we are a soccer nation. We certainly know that during our World Cups, but we are standing toe-to-toe with the rest of the world, with all of our leagues, on a professional basis, week in and week out.
There's only two players, male or female, that ever scored 3 goals in a World Cup final. The difference is it took Jeff Hurst an overtime game to get his. Carly did it in about 20 minutes.
Well, I've been asked about today, and I said winning the World Cup was pretty special, but today was mind-blowing. So thank you, New York, and thank you for the mayor. And number one, thank you to all of our fans that kept with us, believed in us. I'm so proud of this group of women behind us. They are remarkable both on and off the field. They are true pioneers in this sport. I hope you celebrate for a long, long time, New York. Enjoy. Take care. Thank you.
It is now my pleasure to present to each member of the team a very rare honor, the key to the city of New York.
Well, I'm a Jersey girl, Philly fan, but New York City, you guys are awesome. Thank you. I want to thank my teammates back here because they've been awesome throughout this tournament. The coaching staff, support staff, it's been unbelievable. The World Cup was a dream come true, but having this parade here in New York City was one of the best moments of my entire life, and we all feel the same. So thank you guys for all your support. We really appreciate it, and we'll continue to make you proud.
We've had a lot of amazing experiences I have throughout my career, but this absolutely will go down as one of, if not the best thing I have ever been a part of in my life. All of this for us started when we were little, and we had a dream. And we have this campaign, it's called She Believes. And in my opinion, all the women up here on this stage believed in that dream, kept believing in that dream, not only from the time that they were 5, 10, 15, but the entire World Cup. And I believe that that is the reason why we won this World Cup, is because none of us ever stopped believing, and neither should you guys. Thank you guys so much. We love you, New York City!
This could be the waking up, we got so much to say. We got someone to love, we got good friends. They're so good to us, and haters can hate, and fakers can front. So we try to live like it's all we've got, 'cause for all we know, this could be the last night of our lives. Gonna chase down.
And welcome back to the broadcast. This is Charlie Flo with Tom Framka talking about Kick ALS. You started this all up. How did this all get started, and what's the force behind and the reasoning behind starting this up?
Well, the reasoning behind this is stems from my lifelong passion for soccer, and along the lines, my wife had the misfortune of being diagnosed with ALS back in 2004, and at some point I said, well, what can I do to help? And I said, well, there's lots of things out there. Why don't I figure out how to combine soccer, the beautiful game, to fight this horrific disease? And thus was Kick ALS was born, and I've been partnering with varying teams here in the Northeast for the most part, and excited to be back here again. This is the third annual in a row with Sky Blue, and we've been here a couple times before that in the prior iteration of the WPS, but Sky Blue is one of the two teams that has really embraced our concept.
It's definitely
red cards.
Caught momentum. You've got these cards that all the fans and stands are getting tonight, and it says show ALS the red card, and it's a very popular thing tonight with a couple of the calls maybe not going your direction. It definitely gets the fans involved. I think it's a great thing to see the kids involved. And then on the back of the card, you probably can't see it here, but I'll post some pictures on the Twitter feed, and we'll post them on Sky Blue about just explaining what ALS is. And I think it's great getting involved and seeing the players you can do it in the pregame. What has this meant to you to see all the feedback and all the kids is helping out?
It's just, I use the word goosebumps. I literally get goosebumps, and you know, it's a great feeling. Unfortunately, my wife passed away this past October, so this will be the first one where she's not out there to see our efforts, but you know, we know she's looking down. My son is here; he's 13, and he's excited to be involved as well. And if I may take a brief moment to thank the entire Sky Blue organization, the owners, Tony Novo, the GM, office staff, operations, Joya, Joe, Christine, everyone has really come to my side and made for another great event, another notch higher compared to last year. So that's
it's definitely a win-win. It gets the education of the fans, and it gets more fans here. So it's a win-win for all of us, and just the education part, and just seeing kids as no age is too young to learn about, you know, how horrific this disease is.
That's what we're hoping for.
Cool.
Raising awareness. Everybody knows it's the Ice Bucket Challenge.
Yeah.
You probably heard that they're doing it again this year. Today is August 1st.
Well, not today. I don't want to ruin the equipment.
we already did one out in the parking lot.
Oh, yeah?
You can come out in the parking lot after the
I can do post-game. It doesn't matter. We're looking at it after the game.
I challenge you.
All right. I'm up for it. Somebody get a video camera.
If I could present you quickly while we're on camera, thank you.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate
this,
Tom.
And pennant. I know this is more than just the Sky Blue colors. That's another team that you follow. So I think you'll get to wear that hopefully for a couple games.
I will put this on for the rest of the match. Hopefully it's some good luck for us tonight, you know, get in the second half and get that Sky Blue win.
I hope so.
Well, thank you so much, Tom, for coming on. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, folks. Thanks for your support.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to show ALS the red card. Take out your red card, stand up, and let's all give ALS the red card. Hold them high, and turn your attention towards the bottom of the stairs at midfield.
It's never like that normally. I don't know how. Good job. All right. Got cool.
We're just a little behind. It's our fault, not theirs. Thank you. They're coming.
Thank you, fans.
And welcome back to the Sky Blue broadcast. Charlie Flo here with Dan Loletta. Sky Blue down 1-0 to the Flash. So second half, we don't see any changes yet, but definitely a half that Sky Blue want to change and get on the board and walk out of here with 3 points.
Well, if you look back at that half, I don't know that anybody on the Flash in an attacking role really had a great half. I thought Andrade was pretty quiet other than the goal. Heyman, energetic, nothing spectacular. We've barely said Mewis or Nick's name, and yet they have the 1-0 lead. And as we talked about during the first half for Sky Blue, it's been a night of just missing the mark on these things. And so they will have to come out and try to be a little bit more precise with their passes. Not the same problems they were having earlier in the season with not making the runs for each other and with having limited options and missing players, but the game is right there for the taking for either side here. 1-0 Flash. And don't forget, Flash are on their 4th game in a couple weeks, so fatigue could be a factor.
No changes on either side. Looks like we have the both exact same lineups for both teams. Sky Blue with the 3-player attack with Nadim over jumping the kick. And looked like we're going to do a little restart, premature start there.
And we'll try what we did last week. If you want to not know about the other games, you can take 10 seconds, turn your volume down. But in Washington tonight, Crystal Dunn has a first-half hat trick, and it's 3-0 over the Dash. Aaron McLeod came out with an injury in that game earlier. Seattle beat Boston 2-1. And getting underway right about now is FC Kansas City and the Chicago Red Stars.
So back here to us, it's a 1-0 lead for the Flash at the half. Second half underway. Flash in the all-white. They're going on your screen from your right to your left. Sky Blue in the blue tops, dark blue shorts. They're going from your left to your right. Katie Fields is with the ball at the moment. She puts it over to Kerr. So far, Kerr has played 3 games in the Sky Blue jersey, 2 here at Yurcak Field, and has come up with a goal in each match. Last week, he even had an assist to add on to it. So, very good week. The last couple weeks for Kerr. She's looking to get involved. She puts it over to O'Hara, who's been very involved last week, had 2 huge one-timer goals, one on the left foot and one on the right foot. Levin plays it in. Nick plays it out and headed out. Heyman, she has the ball. Doesn't have a lot of help on there. She's going to try to go battle one-on-one, loses it to Grubka. Levin gets a deflection and then pushes it back. Sky Blue swing it out to the bottom of your screen over to Ford. O'Hara with the ball. She plays it over to Kerr. Kerr with one battle. She puts a one-timer in the box. Well, looking for the one-timer was Nadim, just out of her reach. Very involved. Nadim was just inches away from connecting. And we talked about it in the first half, Dan. So many chances just out of the reach.
And a good start to the half for Sky Blue. They're going to want to create more opportunities of that nature and see if they can wear down what should be a tired Flash team.
If you're going to get on the board, really good way to get on the board is right at the start. Those first 5 minutes are very crucial for any team, especially road teams, is get for that 5 minutes and you start building up your confidence. So Flash definitely would love to grab these 3 points as they're hanging near the bottom of the table like Sky Blue and love to grab 3 points and get back in the mix of the playoffs.
And Sky Blue doesn't have too many wins this season, obviously, but all 3 of their wins have been by way of shutout, so they have not had a come-from-behind victory this season.
Flash with a deep throw-in. Sky Blue with a lot of pressure trying to not make it easy on the Flash to get it out.
And the Flash have the subs going, too, so I wouldn't be surprised if Aaron Lyons has already got his eye on a couple of players to see when their tanks sit empty.
Yeah, definitely, like you said about playing the 4 matches in the last 3 weeks, exact opposite of Sky Blue only having to play 2 matches in the last 2 weeks. So a lot of road legs out there with the minimum of 3 subs. It's a matter of strategy, and you have to be careful of players' minutes that you don't want to wear them completely out. So, but also something will not be a factor here in the second half as the sun it has completely gone down, and there are only shadows on the field are cast by the lights above. Put into the box, to O'Hara. She plays it wide, looking for help. Friels with a left-footed shot kicked out. Sky Blue still pressuring, trying to get back possession. Done a good job of last few minutes of keeping the ball down in the Flash's zone. Nick looking for help. Excuse me, that's not Nick. Over wide. Hinkle plays it over to Heyman. Rampone tracks onto it. Plays a soft pass back to Cameron. Grubka still in. Nose is holding up for the moment. Player that stepped off the field a couple times in the first half with a busted up bloody nose, so hopefully that's all fixed up and she's good to go for the 90 because she's been a player that when she plays a full 90.
Well, the idea usually is to keep your back four out there for the full 90 and make your substitutions either in to put on an attacker or bring in somebody to help shore up the defense, but that defensive unit really, in an ideal world, they all get 90 every time.
So Flash with possession here. Taylor plays it back to Jones. A little bit of pressure on Nadeem, so she has to play out and rush her pass, which ends up leading into a turnover. So Ford's going to grab this throw in. So Sky Blue looking to take advantage of the turnover. Hawks went back to Ford. Ford's got help all around her. Holds it up. Puts it over to Hogsma. Hogsma over to Grubka. Grubka plays it. Tried to play it over to Levin, but mishit it, and Flash get possession. Back to Hinkle. Over to Spencer. It's like a little friendly fire. They're battled up with their own player there, Nick, and loses possession. Frills tried to play it on Nadeem, but she definitely wants that one back as it led to a turnover. Nadeem with the foul on Taylor. We talked about it for Nadeem on Taylor, very aggressive. She leads the league in fouls committed, so definitely a player that is a forward, but not afraid to get in for a tackle.
Absolutely not. And in Taylor, it's a player who actually started her pro career with Sky Blue in 2010.
Back in the WOPS days. Over to Spence. She has the ball being tracked by Rampone. And looks like it went off of Rampone's foot for a corner kick for the Flash, their first corner kick of this half.
It sure did, but, Christy Rampone turned 40 during the World Cup. I think we've heard that a few too many times.
Yeah.
But there are really not many players that can absolutely blow by her on speed, which really is remarkable. Because Jasmine Spencer's pretty quick.
That was a player that was with Washington and out of a job for a while, and Lions picked her up and has been a great addition. Had a great season so far. Played in, headed out by Levin. Ford tracking, she plays the ball to O'Hara. Sky Blue actually have a 3-on-1 here developing. Ford tracking to the right, over to left to Kerr. Back over to O'Hara. O'Hara's in the box. A right-footed shot back of the net here in the 52nd minute. We are leveled at 1-1. Kelly O'Hara with the equalizing goal. Off of the counterattack, Dan, I must say, that definitely took advantage of a corner kick, and Flash paid the price of not having numbers back.
And really, you cannot pull off a 3-on-1 any better than that. Obviously, you have the advantage with the numbers up, but both of the balls played were at the perfect time and to the right player, although I do think the second ball might have been for Kerr, and O'Hara might have slept in and cut it off. But
at the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
A great finish as well. And that is a good way for Sky Blue to level this match. One of the most beautiful goals we've seen in the NWSL this season.
Yeah, definitely a situation any player would like to have. When you have options to your right and your left and you have that lone defender, there's not much you can really do on. You can teach and coach it, but how do you mark three players? You just can't do it. Nothing Jones could do there either. And pretty gusty there by O'Hara. She roofed that shot. She went top shelf on that. I mean, that's just pure confidence right there.
With a 2-on-1, you can bring the goalkeeper in to help you defend. 3-on-1, just can't really do it.
No.
Doesn't make it easy to finish, though, and really a sensational sequence from Sky Blue.
So we're all back square at 1-1. Anybody's ball game here. Obviously put a little bit of edge to the home team because now they have the home fans behind them. And we'll definitely see when we get into maybe the 70th, 80th minutes that Flash are going to have some road legs and see how much, Jim Cabrera pushes his squad, how much tempo he forces the team on them.
And you get the sense that Sky Blue was slowly kind of taking control of the game right even before that happened.
Ball in. Headed. Friel's tracking on. Spencer on her back. Friel's makes a nifty move. Spencer comes up with the ball.
I think I misspoke, by the way. It was Ford, not Kerr, that O'Hara might have cut in front of there. The assist on the play went to Sam Kerr.
Definitely a well-played-in ball that leads to a equalizing goal for Sky Blue. And that's a situation where you're not going to see either team sit back and take this draw. That both teams, since they're near the bottom of the table, a draw does nothing for either of these teams. Both teams need 3 points. So, if anything, you're at home, you're going to watch a very entertaining match where both teams are going to push to get a game winner tonight. Nadim challenging. O'Hara challenging. Heyman being double-teamed. Somehow, Killian gets a poke in there and gets the ball knocked away, but a little miss-hit back. Spencer grabs it. And poked away by Kerr. Friels is looking for her help. Doesn't have a lot of help. Just going to softly put it back to O'Hara. And O'Hara puts it back to Friels. O'Hara got a little bit of space in front of her. She's got to drop over to Kerr if she wants to use it, and she does use it. Ford's doing an overlap behind Kerr. She plays it over to Ford. Sky Blue have got 3 players in the box at the moment. Ford crosses it in. She's got help. And just deflected out by Edwards. Levin got involved. So at the moment there were 4 Sky Blue players in the box. So not afraid. Gobert's not afraid tonight to push numbers in the box to go for that, jugular win.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your last call to purchase your Kick ALS raffle ticket. The Kick ALS raffle tickets can now be purchased at the Kick ALS table, and we'll announce those winners shortly.
Hogsma with a great header there to put a ball that's obtainable by Nadim. She's tracking on. Ingen forced to put it wide. And tough collision there. That looks like maybe Edwards went down.
I missed that, what happened, but that is Edwards down. With
Edwards collided very toughly with Hogsma. It was like an incidental contact, kind of a little bit of a ball watching as the ball soared over and just collided into the back of Hogsma. So she seems to be okay. She's getting up. And it's going to be a foul on Sky Blue, and looks like Jones is going to take this. So you'll definitely see both teams, like I said, playing very aggressive here, trying to go for that win. Well, Jones actually, meantime, drops back. Ingen's going to take it.
Just glancing ahead at the Sky Blue schedule while we have a moment and a tough couple of road games in Houston and Chicago coming up.
And that Houston game is pretty big because it'll be on one of the Fox featured games. So that's good to see the league getting that exposure. And we know what happened last year when Sky Blue went down to Houston. The first time they played them down to Houston, that's when Nadim erupted for a hat trick. So Sky Blue would love to see a replication of that. We do have a player coming in for the Flash momentarily, Lynn Williams of Ford, so we're not sure who's going to be coming out, if they're going to try to put more attacking. And also coming in for Sky Blue momentarily will be Coco Goodson. Like I said, we don't know who's they're replacing. Little head scratcher with me with the Coco Goodson sub, because right now the back line for Sky Blue's been playing very well, so we're not sure if it's going to be Grubka.
Well, it could be that Grubka's had enough with the bloody nose, but we'll find out soon enough. And for the Flash, if you think that they're quick now, wait till you see Lynn Williams come on if you haven't seen them play yet.
Yeah, that's another thing, too, is right now Grubka's kind of playing more of a to the left back position, and Hogsma dropped a little bit for that central role, so you don't know if it's a breathing issue, and she's just having a hard time catching her breath out there. Whenever you have a busted-up nose, it just makes it that much harder to breathe, so might be physically able to go, but if you can't catch your breath, you don't want to be a liability for your team out there. So maybe one of those things where, maybe Cabrera and the staff said, hey, try it out second half, see, or maybe she puts her hand up, hey, I'm a little bit, gas, so.
Valentine plunged into the ocean in Manasquan.
Sam Mewis coming off for the Flash, which is not something that happens very often for them.
And it
has been a quiet day for
That is a little bit of a shocker, but she has not had a big game, hadn't had to call her name a lot tonight. And coming out is Grubka and Coco Goodson in that central position, a player that was a mainstay in the first 2 years at NWSL for Sky Blue.
Mentioned it at the top that Friel's now with 34 straight starts for Sky Blue, and Goodson started the first 35 games, and to the best of my recollection, started every one of them in central defense.
Yeah.
Occasionally would move up and try to get ahead on a ball in the box in a situation where Sky Blue was behind. Actually had a little confusion one night against Kansas City.
So there's Goodson early on with a header, but kind of falls to the feet of Spencer. Spencer's tracking on. Rampone puts it away, putting it back in. Ingen, she wants that one back as Cameron easily catches it. Sky Blue pushing numbers up. Kerr with the ball. Kind of hits off of her own back heel. And played over. Hinkle played it back to Jones.
Just to finish that thought quick, Sky Blue got 2 late goals to get a 2-2 draw with Kansas City, and there was some debate. Goodson was trying to take credit for getting ahead on one of the balls that bounced in the box. Jim Gabera didn't want to give her the credit, thought it may be that it just bounced in behind her. The player will always say she got ahead on it.
Heck yeah. Yeah, she did score a header. I remember her first year in this league. She was one of those players that fell victim to the WPS folding. She was drafted by Philadelphia and drafted by Paul Riley. Never played a single game in WPS because it folded and didn't spend any time with Paul Riley at all. So went and played overseas and played in Netherlands for a while, and then was able to sign on with Sky Blue and has been a mainstay. She did score, I remember, on a set-piece corner kick, scored a header at Washington. So she's a player that can get her head, and she said she started her college career off as a forward. So a lot of defenders out there have that forward in them somewhere, and it's buried deep down inside. And, hey, what a better night to get a game winner than here at home. In the meantime, Flash have possession. They're going to push it up. Nick plays it over. Heyman, wearing the number 23, plays it back.
With that Flash sub, Andrade, who's on the ball now, dropped into the midfield. Williams is playing as a forward.
Yeah, because Andrade is definitely playing back a little bit, and Williams has got a ton of speed. Even though she got a little bit of a wrap on her right knee, she has a ton of speed, so definitely going to be an interesting battle with her and Ford tonight. This Ford's definitely got the youth and got the legs at only 20. He's got wheels that can go forever. And offside flag is up. Haven't had a lot of offside. That might have been one of the first offside for Sky Blue the whole night. I know they've been pushing. But we're going to send it momentarily down to Brittany Alvarado, our sideline reporter. What do you have for us, Brittany?
Hey guys, I was over by the Western New York Flash bench when the subs were made, and Sam Ewes came off looking very frustrated. It's deja vu again for the Western New York Flash, as he gave up a lead like they did last time when they faced Sky Blue. And who other than Kelly O'Hara and Sam Kerr? Those two have teamed up so well this season. The assist from Kerr to O'Hara for the equalizer. Sky Blue's pumped. Coach Gabera's pumped. Let's see what they have for the rest of the game. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Brittany. Brittany Alvarado, our sideline reporter. Some great stuff. She'll be back on in 80th minute. We have her on every 20 minutes. Great insight. So right now we're in the 62nd minute. A little collision with Sarah Killian and Spencer. Heyman now with the ball. She's looking for help. Ford and Heyman, the Australians, going toe-to-toe. And a little miscommunication. Heyman was just trying to grab her feet back up, and Hinkle hits the ball over to her rightly, but just a miscommunication. So that's going to be a goal kick for Sky Blue that Cameron puts back into play. So O'Hara has now moved to the top of your screen. She's playing at the top, and Sam Kerr's playing at the bottom of your screen. So Kerr's going to be playing more of a right attacking end. At the moment, O'Hara's kind of playing on the left. So it's a very interesting thing that Jim Gabera has faith in his players to kind of adjust on the fly and make them, a very complex attack. Friels comes up with the ball. Poked away by Heyman. Hawks him with a sliding play to put it back in. Kerr with the ball. She's being tackled left and right. And finally, the whistle blows as we're going to call a foul on Friels on Heyman. It was getting a little sloppy there, so it just
could have been 2 or 3 fouls before that. And almost all the time when that happens, the play goes back the other direction.
Fans' displeasure showing their ALS red card. It's a great little thing that Tom had given us that we had on a halftime about just showing the red card. So.
And just to reiterate, really an outstanding bit of energy in the crowd tonight. Something that we had the big crowd for the comeback game against Portland, but this is by far, to me, the best crowd by energy that we've had at Yurcak this season.
Yeah, one of the most beautiful evenings we've had here in New Jersey, so it's just great here to see the fans involved and having the little red cards to show the referee at their displeasure. So Jones is sitting over the ball. She sends it along. Williams gets a little bit of head onto it. Heyman battling with it. Goodson gets her foot to it. And Heyman's going to be called for the foul on 11.
I believe that was a design play with the flick on to Heyman.
Yeah.
And it almost worked out, except that the ball went one way, Heyman went the other way, because they talked about, Jones and a couple of Flash players talked that over for a while before she hit that free kick.
Looks like the ref did a little chatting over to Goodson. Some of the players were jawing at each other, so want to contain that. O'Hara flicks it on, but nobody for Sky Blue there. She's chasing her own ball, putting pressure on Jones, who's been forced into a few bad balls, and there was one right there. Jones plays a miss, hits a ball, and Sky Blue get possession. Hawksma puts it over to O'Hara, who's playing on your right side now. Plays it over to Kerr. Kerr's going into the box. Looking for Hawksma. Definitely wants that one back. She kind of hits it a little bit. Flash off to the races. Lynn Williams being challenged on by Cameron. Cameron way out of her box and kicks it out for a throw-in for Flash. So some nervy moments for the fans here, and I'm sure some very nervy moments back in Western New York. Is just a matter of if Williams gets a chipper on that, she's got a wide open net. Hinkle with a throw. Tracked on by Ford. Coming in for help is Kerr. Kerr gets her right foot in there, knocks it out for another Flash throw-in. Hinkle, the rookie, is going to take it. Player that definitely can push up and score. Scored 2 weeks ago against Sky Blue. She puts it in. Back to Hinkle. Hinkle with a left foot across in the box. Going up for it. And miss hitting it out of bounds. Yeah, Edwards I think she jumped a little early for that because when she hit the ball, it went straight into the turf. So up on the Sky Blue sideline is Foligno, Taylor, and Stanton. Sky Blue have used one of their 3 subs, so still have 2 in their back pocket. Flasher used 1 sub so far, as Mewes came out and Williams came in. O'Hara over to Friels. Looks in a little displeasure of herself as she kind of hit it to nobody. Jones. Heyman puts it back into Edwards. To Nick, back to Edwards. Ingen plays it wide to Dahlkemper. She plays a long ball in, and it's going to be right into the box. Double collision there. Levin took the brunt of it. She gets back up. Killing comes out with the ball. Edwards looking for her help. Edwards flicks it on. Looks like it fell between both Heyman and Spencer, but Heyman had it momentarily. And Heyman's going to be called on the foul on Rampone. Rampone definitely frustrated. The referee's going to chat with Heyman for a moment. Don't see any cartage, but definitely trying to separate Heyman and Rampone. A lot of good 1v1 battles all night tonight. A very physical game. No cartage, but I feel like we're right on the edge.
And Rampone just got ever so slightly worked up after that play, which is not something that happens all that often.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Substitution for Western New York. In the 69th minute, entering the game at midfield, number 10, Alamaru Allende. She replaces number 21.
And Nadeem on a good challenge forces a long clearance. And Hogland puts it in, but we have another foul in the meantime.
And a Flash player slow to get up as well. That's Whitney Ingen.
Yeah, she's taken a couple of them tonight. So the Flash use their second sub. Ian Day comes in wearing number 10. She's going to come in and play a forward type of position. She's now at the center circle. Jones puts it back in play, so Sky Blue still have their 2 subs and Flash are down to just 1 sub. So Airlines being very aggressive, making both of his subs so far are forward-minded, scoring type of players. I mean, you're in a situation where you have to. A 1-1 draw is not going to cut it for anybody.
And there's nothing in this game that suggests that the Flash can't score the game winner.
No. Sky Blue had the momentum after the goal scoring, but it's kind of evened out right now. Both teams having a lot of opportunities, playing very physical, not afraid to throw a body out there. So definitely a very wide open game as we're now in the 70th minute.
Nick tried to direct traffic and wound up getting the ball played to her.
Played over to Kerr. Kerr's in the box. She's right around the spot. She just couldn't get it to fall for her. She was trying for a little bit of a, not bicycle, more of a flicker before it hit the ground, but just couldn't quite time of that ball. So definitely
went straight up on her and came straight down, so tough to get an angle. And then Jones tried to play it out quick for the Flash, and that didn't work out.
Coco Goodson gets a left foot on that and kicks it out, and it's going to be a deep throw-in for Sky Blue.
The winner received an autographed Sky Blue FC jersey.
Appears that the last sub second sub for Sky Blue is going to be used momentarily. Not sure who it is. Maybe we're going to have Taylor come in. Looks like Taylor Latta was warming up, and Christy Holly had went over and talked to her. So we may see Taylor Lytle coming in. Not sure for who, but we'll keep you guys informed. In the meantime, Ford is going down the field, being tracked on. Kerr has the ball.
And stay tough, fight hard.
Looking for her help. Plays it wide over to Hogsma. Hogsma got tons of space. She plays it wide to O'Hara, who plays a right-footed ball in the box. And it's going to fall out for a Sky Blue corner kick. This is Sky Blue's first corner kick of the second half. Warming up for a second, not sure if Sky Blue is going to put in the Lytle sub before or after the corner kick. But one thing we know is that Kelly O'Hara is going to be taking the corner kick for Sky Blue. Everybody for Sky Blue is in the box with the exception of Cameron and Ford. Ford and Cameron both around the center circle. Put in. Deflected out. It's like maybe Dahlkemper got a little bit of a head on that. Sky Blue tracking back. Flash weren't quick enough to get their numbers up. Little miss hit there. Kelly O'Hara's approaching the box. She's getting pressured on. She plays it up to Friel's out of the box. Ian Day deflects it away from her. What a great saving tackle. In the meantime, hit back to
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a parking
Killian. That was Dahlkemper with a poor ball across. And O'Hara got it on it, but Jaylene Hingle, the rookie left back, who is most known for getting forward, a good job defending O'Hara.
A very good job to make her force a pass over to Friels. And then Ian Day came in and stripped her.
You've won 4 tickets to the next home game against Portland.
Goodson heads it. Taken down. Nick just puts it over to Ingen, and Ingen plays it wide. So Williams tracking on. Levin chasing. Levin gets a little bit on it. Goes in for a deep throw in.
Yurcak Field on Saturday, August 22nd, hosting Portland Thorns FC at 7 p.m. Great seats to the match, and our remaining home games are all available online at tickets.skyblue.com or by calling 888.
Here comes the Lytle sub. I think they're trying to get the attention of the player coming off.
And it appears to be Kerr that is going to be coming off for Sky Blue. So Kerr is going to be hopping off, and Taylor Latta is going to be hopping on here in the 74th minute.
Please. Substitution for Sky Blue FC in the 73rd minute. Entering the game at midfield, number 6, Taylor Lytle. Replacing number 20, Sam Kerr.
So a lot of hustle out of Sam Kerr tonight. She's definitely going to have to hydrate herself. We should put it all on the field tonight. Sky Blue still with one more sub in their back pocket. Same thing with the Flash. Ian Day plays it back over to Taylor. Taylor puts the ball in. Over to Edwards. Heyman comes up with it. She's double teamed, puts it back to Edwards, falls into the box. Spencer tracking on. Over to O'Hara. O'Hara over to Friels. Drops it back to Hogsma, and then Hogsma drops it back to Rampone. Ball that was kind of intended for Lytle mishit, so she hasn't gotten any action yet. Just got subbed in momentarily ago.
Getting back to that thing about winning each section of the game, we're about to hit 75 minutes, so that'll be the final 15. So this would be a good section for Jim Gabarra to win for Sky Blue. Same goes for the Flash, of course.
Nick with the ball for the Flash. They're pushing up. Wide to Hinkle, rookie. Tried to hit over to Edwards. Took a deflection, so Ford's got to maintain possession. And she's tripped up by Williams.
Attention, ladies and gentlemen. Here are the winners of our halftime tennis ball toss presented by I Play America.
Put back into play over to Cameron.
Head on down to the merchandise tent.
Cameron plays it over to Goodson, who'd come in earlier for a sub for Grubka. Wide to Levin, back to Goodson.
The winner of the Sky Blue t-shirt.
And puts it over to Levin. Levin plays it over to Lytle. Lytle puts it over to Killian. Killian puts a long ball. Levin's tracking on. Dahlkemper all over her. Levin plays it back to Taylor. Swings it over to Killian, and Killian puts it back to Taylor. Taylor's going to play it over to Hawksema. Hawksema plays it wide to Ford. Ford looking for O'Hara. O'Hara and Ford with a little 1-2. Back to O'Hara. She's going to try to keep it in. She keeps it in. Just outside the box. She plays across. Tries to play a little back door, but nobody was there.
It's a good ball by Hogsma. It's got to be somebody on the far post.
Goes to Joshua Fox.
Flash with a counter. Heyman's battling for it. Flag stay down. Heyman battling with Levin. And we have a foul against Levin. It's way on the far side of the field and just outside the box. So this is a very deep, threatening area. It's kind of a little bit closer than a corner kick, but even more threatening than a corner because it's out about maybe 7 yards. Looks like about 7 yards out from the touch line and about maybe 3 yards outside the 18-yard box. So a very threatening position here. Anything you can do here, you can do outswinger, in-swinger.
And you can possibly, though I don't think it'll be the strategy, you can possibly score from here too.
This is true.
So if she's not lining up.
Sky Blue with a ton of numbers in a box. Flash have 5 numbers in a box. They have other players that are right on the edge of the box. They're pushing everybody up. Hit over to nobody. Ford. Sorry, not Ford. Goodson plays it wide. Hinkle on the kinds of pressure. Ian Day wearing the number 10. Plays a 1-2 to Williams. She gets possession. Coco Goodson strips her of possession. Puts it over to Rampone. Her pass is deflected. Lytle gets the deflection. Takes a couple nifty moves. Puts it over to Friels. Friels puts it wide to O'Hara. They're not in an urgent rush here, but want to put something together. Flash come up with possession. Hit over to Lynn Williams, just out of her reach. And that's going to be a throw-in for Sky Blue. We have a substitute coming on momentarily, so they're going to hold it up. Elizabeth Eddy's going to be coming on. And Jasmine Spencer is going to be stepping off the field.
And with all the rookies that Flash have, Eddy's a nice story. Was an undrafted free agent signing a couple of weeks into the season. She played a little right back, a little midfield. And she's a little bit raw, but she's really had some shining moments.
So a non-called handball there. That's one of those handballs you'll probably hardly ever see. It was on Friel. It was kind of she had her back turned and just skimmed off her hand, but Sky Blue get possession. At the moment, Lytle has it. She had come in for curve momentarily ago. So Flash are now out of their subs. Sky Blue still have one in their back pocket. Rampone back to Cameron. So now we're in the 79th minute. Not much left here. We're not sure of who's going to be coming in for Sky Blue if they're going to use that last sub, but definitely thinking win at the moment. Both teams thinking win, actually. Over to Nick, wide to Eddie. Eddie plays a ball, trying to play to Edwards, hits it. Frios with all kinds of space. She got options to her right and her left. She looks for a cracker shot, hit right into the arms of Jones. She probably first ripped it, thought it was a good idea, but really didn't have that much pace on it. You're not going to score on Jones from that far out. We're going to send it momentarily down to the sidelines to Brittany Alvarado with an update of what she has for us on the sidelines. Hey, Brittany, what do you have for us on the sidelines?
Guys, I can feel the intensity down here. Neither of these teams want to finish with the tie. Both teams need the 3 points to make the playoff push. I've been following the other games. The Spirit, as of what I know, is up 3-0 right now, so that would be big for either of these teams if the Dash did not get the 3 points. Both coaches are very encouraging, really pushing for either of their teams to win. It's going to be a fight to the finish. Back to you guys.
Brittany Alvarado, thank you, Brittany, for that update. We'll continue to keep our eyes on the league because it's going to come down to the wire in these last few weeks where other games will start mattering for teams to get in the playoffs. The moment Eddie was pushing strong to get a shot off, she had a couple players in the box, but Friels with lots of space. We have a 3-on-3 developing. Friels tries to put it to O'Hara, but hits a little too far. Over to Hinkle, and she plays it back to Jones. Ford over to Hogsma. Hogsma to O'Hara, and O'Hara plays it back to Hogsma, then back to O'Hara. She's looking to switch fields. Plays it to the center over to Lytle. Lytle tries to play a flicker over to Friels, and Flash players have a little difficulty clearing it out. And then there's Friels with the pickoff, and Hinkle bails herself out with stripping Friels. So almost a golden opportunity for Sky Blue, who get another turnover. O'Hara has tons of space. Looks for a ripper, rips it right at Jones, a knuckler that Jones has to gobble up. One of the situations where I was wondering why O'Hara didn't take a few more dribbles in because she had a lot of space in front of her.
She did. Probably thought she could catch Jones a little bit unawares with a tricky shot. And did get a tricky shot on. Jones did a nice job with it.
Yep. Heyman, Australian International. Flags are up. Cameron does make the saves. It doesn't please the fans anyway, but the flags were up. Seemed like a little late. There was a few moments there where Eddie thought she might have been onside.
Yeah, for a moment I thought the flag wasn't coming. It was close.
Kind of like that ice hockey delayed penalty. We were waiting for the whistle. Whistle bails out Cameron and Sky Blue there. Ford over to O'Hara. O'Hara with a little 1v1 battle. Goes into the box. She still has the possession. Tries to play it over to teammate Lytle. Just couldn't get anything on that left foot across. Might have taken a deflection. I know she was getting body checked too.
Nice job turning her defender around, and that touch to go the other way was a little too hard. That got her in trouble.
Over to Rampone. Rampone plays it wide to Levin. Levin's had a few pushes up and a few threatening chances tonight. Lytle with a head of steam. She's going near goal. She takes a cracker, and it goes left. Grabs her hands in frustration. Definitely wants that one back. I guess the biggest thing when you are going forward like that, you at least want to put it on frame.
And we say it seemingly every week on the broadcast, but Lytle has scored goals like that and big ones before for Sky Blue.
Back to Cameron. She easily scoops it up. We're now entering the 83rd minute, deadlocked at 1-1. It's like Sky Blue's going to use her last sub momentarily. Not sure who she's going to be subbing in, but Foligno, the Canadian international, she's going to be subbing in. Wouldn't be surprised to see Nadine come out maybe, give her a breath. She's been working very hard tonight. Lytle puts it over to Friels. Friels maintains possession, looking for a ball. Flag stayed down. Looks like it went off. I wasn't sure if that was Nick or if that was Edwards, but went right off. Looks like the head of a Flash player. Sky Blue still maintaining possession.
She's got to stay. That's Dahlkemper. She's got to stay
Yes,
down.
Dahlkemper.
She's got to stay down and get a whistle there.
Well, I think the thing was she was down and she got up, and the reason she had to track back is she was keeping every single Sky Blue player on side, which means Sky Blue could just push up as many numbers as they want. She was down.
She's also holding her head, and if we're going to be serious about making sure that
That's the
players
ref
don't
just
have
gotta blow the
serious
whistle.
injuries, then that play has to be blown dead.
Yeah. Still holding her head, but play goes on. It's very surprising the referee has not done anything and played on, especially if it's a head injury. It's very concerning to me, and I know many fans out there that what's the protocol there when a player obviously gets a head type of injury. And Killian's going to be coming off for Sky Blue. So taking off a midfield and putting in a forward, but definitely going for the win.
Your attention, please. Substitution in the
Correction, too. It's Whitney Ingen who's holding her head.
Oh, Whitney Ingen? Okay. Couldn't tell at the angle where you're at.
Dahlkemper, but it's been about 60 seconds, and she still has her hand on her head.
Yeah, it's very strange to me that not the ref, as nobody's going over. Aaron Lyons hasn't told the ref, hey, let's shut down for a sec, especially when they had a stoppage of play. We had a throw, we had a sub there, so there's plenty of opportunities.
If you go back to the World Cup semifinal, I was shocked that Morgan Bryan was allowed to continue.
It's one of those head scratchers. You know, the only thing I heard was a 3 minutes off the field, so you got me, Dan.
But Engen seems to be all right now.
Yeah, let's hope it was just a quick knock and nothing more than just a little bruise.
And it is crunch time at Yurcak Field. Two teams really needing 3 points.
Both teams out of subs. Felina, the one that was just subbed him, getting her first touches of the night wearing the number 16 jersey. Spent time with Canada in the World Cup. Some very key moments for her country. So it'll be a good time for her to open up her account for Sky Blue. And a little miscommunication there. Lytle hits a little too hard for Level.
And Nikki Stetton after the game. Please make your way to the Sky Blue FC table on the stadium concourse.
We're deep here into the 86th minute, 1-1. The second half was tied up by a Kelly O'Hara blast. That's 3 goals in the past 2 games for her. Definitely would like to have 2 goals again tonight, especially the game winner. Kelly O'Hara with the ball at the moment. She's pushing forward. Ball hit away. She tries to get it back. She has it back. She's in the box. Friels plays it over to her. Ball off. Maybe a hand, not a hand. No players putting their hands up, so play on. No hand ball.
And Engen, who cleared that, has her hand back on her head.
So definitely very concerned there. We'll keep you updated if we hear anything about that situation. And another situation, too, is you can't really pull her off. I mean, you can pull her off for medical, but you can't pull her off for a sub. So I don't know if that's another reason why she's just kind of battling through it, Dan, that she can't come off. I mean, she can come off for, medical attention, but no sub to be used. So there's a turnover. Could be very dangerous. Williams with the ball. Flash have numbers. Lytle tracking back. Heyman in the box. Another ball kind of hit right back to the Flash. Flash with opportunities here. Deflection shot. That's going to be I believe it's going to be a corner. Yep, it's going to be a corner for Flash. I don't know when Cameron grabbed the ball like that. I wasn't sure why she was getting it from the ball kid. I guess the ball kid thought it was a goal kick and was being very generous towards the home team. But now we're into the 80th minute. Flash with a very threatening corner kick. Flash with 8 players in the box, 2 field players back, and 1 goalkeeper. Now keep in mind, Sky Blue did score on a counterattack from a corner kick and just hit over. Cameron puts it back in. Over hits Levin. Flash with possession. Dahlkemper being double teamed. Tries to play a ball to Edwards and just mishits it. Williams tracking on the Cameron, creates some pressure. Cameron forced to clear it. Stays in. Actually didn't stay in, sorry. I thought it meant it stayed in, but goes out for a midline throw-in area for the Flash. And I'm looking down at the fourth official. They're adjusting the stoppage time, and we're going to have, it looks like, 4 minutes of stoppage time added on after we go to the full 90.
Just want to make a quick correction. Elizabeth Eddy was actually drafted in 2014 by Sky Blue, ironically enough.
Huh.
Didn't play in the league until this year when the Flash signed her as a free agent, so thank you to Twitter user JL Hayes for that correction.
And looks like Flash get on the board.
And that is another misplay by Brittany Cameron.
Does it look like Eddy gets the ball, number 20?
And it's 2-1 here in the dying minutes.
So Sky Blue now from a situation where they were looking to take a lead in this game, are their backs against the wall, down 2-1. Just a matter of maybe about a minute and a half here in the 90 minutes, plus about 4 minutes of stoppage. So not a lot of time to get the tying goal. So going for a situation, trying to get 3 points. They're going to try anything to get just the 1 point and salvage something out of this match tonight.
I'm glad we got the right information out there about Eddy before she scored what might be the game-winning goal. But Cameron, I'm not exactly sure what she was doing there, but not sure how the ball wound up on the far post.
So as of now, Eddy will stand with the game winner. She was the late sub used by Sky Blue.
And the Flash are stoppage time away. 4 minutes, as you said, Charlie. 4 minutes of stoppage time away from doing to Sky Blue what Portland did to them, which is go on the road, a tired team, and coming out with 3 points.
A lot of parity in this league that any given night, any team can beat any team, but still have time left. Friels approaches the goal, rips a shot just to the left. Diving Jones had as much net of the covered as she could, but keeps it out. It's going to be a goal kick.
Western New York goal was scored by number 20, Elizabeth Eddy. The assist to number 9, Lynn Williams. Eddy from Williams.
So Lynn Williams hooks up on the sub. You heard the PA announcer with Eddy, so the two subs come up very huge for the Flash tonight. The Sky Blue not done yet. Still got a few moments. Still got a little bit of fuel in the tank. Tail ladder delivering towards goal. Double team, triple team, puts it off to Friels. Friels puts it over to Nadeem, but in the air, a little too high now to reach Nadeem. That's been the story of the night. A lot of balls just out of the reach of every player. Foligno tries to battle in. O'Hare puts it over to Hogsma. Rampone puts it in the box. Nadeem looking, swings and misses. She had a lot of contact on her. Fans want the call. Referee says play on. Rampone battling with Williams. Williams comes out on top. Eddy puts a little clearance in, just a little bit of time wasting. Cameron's way out of her box. Got about a minute and a half maybe left here in stoppage time. Played about a minute and a half, maybe 2.5 minutes, because we're going to play 4 minutes of stoppage. So a lot of time wasting by the Flash now, Dan.
This will get them up into 6th place ahead of Portland, who does not play today. Right now, the table looks like 5 teams for 4 spots, but the Flash and the Thorns and Sky Blue, they're all trying to kind of get their way into that group.
Yeah, this is a very tough defeat if this ends up being a defeat for Sky Blue, because they go on the road at Houston, at Chicago, 2 teams playing very well at home. So to only come out of this game with 0 points and not the one they had a few minutes ago, they thought, it's very devastating for them. A huge loss. It really can put them in the back against the wall. Long ball in, settled by Nadeem. She plays it over to Friels. Friels has a shot. Ford plays it over to Foligno. Foligno's being tracked. All kinds of bodies on her. No whistle. Ford plays it in the box. Hogsma tracking. Hogsma looking. Punched away. Or kicked away, sorry. Rampone over to 11. Everybody's getting up for Sky Blue.
And everybody's back behind the ball for the Flash.
O'Hara in. And headed out of bounds. It's going to be a Flash goal kick. Jones is going to take her time.
Nothing kills the momentum when you're building up for an attack to try and get a needed goal than a ball going out of bounds without the goalkeeper or defender having to do anything.
No.
That was a nice ball for Hagsma, who took her shot at it, but that really kills the momentum.
Jones puts it in. And Sky Blue catch a tiny break there. They've got a minute to come up with it, maybe less than a minute, maybe 45 seconds to come up with a tying goal. Nadine with the ball. She puts it over to Lytle. Lytle tracking. Ford calling for. Ford approaching goal. Sky Blue have all their numbers back, so not a lot of options. It's going to be a throw-in for Sky Blue, about maybe 30 seconds left, 20 seconds. Time is dwindling away, And there's the final whistle with the Flash defeating Sky Blue by a score of 2-1. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I'm Charlie Flo. He's Dan Laletta. We'll be back on August the 22nd as Sky Blue will host Portland. And then we have one more final broadcast against Kansas City. So we've only got 2 more home games, and Sky Blue's got to hit the road for the next 2 weeks. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank everybody for doing what they do tonight on our production side. NJ Discover and Dan Laletta, my partner, doing a great job. Thank you so much, guys.